It's kind of the definition of insanity and delusion. One thing to be very, very cautious with that I've seen many times is people put money in a 401k or in the IRA and then don't actually. Girls, what do you do with the first 10% of your money? I had my face on the NASDAQ billboard, which was the most mind-blowing thing.
Starting off in 2025 with today's economy, what would you suggest going into the new year that people focus on as far as investing their money?
The first step before you actually invest, you need to figure out where you actually. And that means looking at previous 3 months and see where are you spending your money, where is it going? And then the next step will be building your emergency fund, or what I call it, a proactive fund. Because things happen in life, a tire goes out, your AC or heater can go out, life just happens. Building that emergency fund gives you the mental peace where if something happens, you have money to cover that and you don't have to borrow. And then once you have your emergency fund in place, you look into investing options. The faster and the easiest way to start investing is the 401k with your employer, because that gives you a match, which is free money. Of course, some employers don't, but if you do have a match, then absolutely go for the match. For entrepreneurs, you can get a 401k or an IRA tied to your business. One thing to be very cautious with that I've seen many times is people put money in a 401k or in the IRA and they don't actually invest that money. You've got to invest it. Those accounts are just holding places. Once you've covered those bases, I personally love investing in real estate because it's a hard asset, and if anything happens, you have that hard asset, you own it. Also, it's a human basic need. People always need food, shelter, and medicals. Those are among the most important things. Those are basic things. Just venture out another investment will be good. What I recommend is diversifying, meaning investing in more than one thing. Girls, what do you do with the first 10% of your money? You give. That's right. What about the next 70%?
Save.
And?
Spend.
No. Save and?
Save and invest.
Yes. And then the last 20% goes to what?
Spend.
Spend. That's right.
What was your first impression of the United States?
How well taken care of the streets are, and I just thought that it was amazing. I grew up thinking that it was only in the movies what was portrayed of US, never actually thinking that is reality. And what I mean by that is the houses, the carefully manicured lawns, the highways. I remember watching Home Alone and New York streets and all the decoration, all the Christmas stuff, and I literally thought that it was a movie set and that it was not a reality. But hey, it actually is a reality.
Did you go to New York and see that?
I went to Times Square. I had my face on the NASDAQ billboard, which was the most mind-blowing thing. I never thought that would happen.
We sold a book.
Yeah, becoming the Wall Street Journal Best-selling Author, that's what got me to that billboard here, right? Then I saw the Rockefeller Center, I saw the decoration, I saw the ice skating ring, and the hotel where they filmed the Home Alone.
What was the very first thing you invested in the United States?
My education. The very first thing that I invested in myself was working really hard to pay my way through college and getting a finance degree. That was the first investment, and that would always be the first and the most that one should invest in. It's yourself, because you are your biggest asset and nobody can take your education away. If anyone takes everything away from you, what you have left is your education that can help you build it back up again better than even was before.
Would you recommend people to go after their MBA?
I had a great time during the MBA program. I don't know if I would recommend it to everyone. It depends on your goals and what you're going to do with it. I had a great time and I've learned a lot, and I worked on projects that challenged me. It was very hard for me though, because I had a 5-month-old and a 2-year-old, and I was doing a full-time MBA, but it definitely pushed me to limits that I didn't think I would have to go in terms of juggling being a mom, a wife, and getting an MBA from a top 20 school.
Was the deciding point that made you not do that and pursue being an entrepreneur?
I was very blessed during the MBA program because I got a ton of offers, and I'm not saying this to toot my own horn, but I worked really, really hard to do that. And what I wanted to do after the MBA and why I've declined those offers was to pursue my dream. That was to help other people and become an author. And I did that. And that has been a blessing. It stretched me in directions that I didn't thought possible or imagined. It definitely helped me grow into a better and greater version of myself, but it also brought challenges to where in the corporate world you have a lot of experts and a lot of people to lean on. In the entrepreneurship world, you have to be on top of the game, and you are the one pushing. In some areas, you might never know how to do them. You're gonna have to hustle up and figure out many things on your own, which is the challenge, but also the beauty of entrepreneurship. That's where growth comes from, and it is a painful growth and rewarding growth at the same time. It sounds kind of counterintuitive.
Being on both sides of the spectrum in the corporate world and entrepreneurship, which would you say is the most challenging?
Entrepreneurship.
Why?
Because you are wearing so many hats and you are learning at such a big speed in so many different ways. In the corporate world, generally you will have one lane. If you are in finance and accounting, you're going to be in finance and accounting. You might interact with other departments, you probably would, and it will give you some exposure and you will learn things there. If you're in marketing, you're going to be in the marketing lane and learning a little bit from other places. When you're an entrepreneur, you're the marketer, you're the CEO, you're the CFO, you are the janitor, you are everything basically when you're starting out. Imagine having 10 jobs and getting paid very little to nothing when you start, and having the toughness to do that, still keep going, and know that one day is going to pay off. It's kind of the definition of insanity and delusion, but we all know that entrepreneurs build great things.